Hey guys, welcome back to Reverse 1999. In today's video, we're going to be doing a full beginner's guide for the game, going through all the general aspects of the game to get you pointed in the right direction. Now, this is going to be a sponsored video, so massive shout out goes to Reverse 1999 for sponsoring this video, and there is a link in the description if you want to help me out and go click that to download the game. But it's always nice when a sponsorship is a game that you actually enjoy and you want to play, so I will be doing much more in-depth guides. Like I said, this one's a broad guide. I'll be doing more in-depth guides over on my other channel, Vulcan Journey. So if you're interested in the game and you're into this, I will have many more videos over on that channel, so you can go check out and keep up with my progress and guides in the game over there. But let's get into it and talk about the main things in the game. Now, the things we're going to cover is sort of your characters, your character upgrade progression. We're going to go into all the key game modes of it, and also a little bit on the summoning systems, and that should get you pointed in the right direction with everything you need for a basic start to the game. So I just quickly wanted to touch on rerolling because it's something in every game that we play. You can reroll. I will have a reroll guide on my other channel that I'll leave linked in the description, but you do not have to reroll. The game is fairly generous with summons. We can see here on their promotions, they talk about 73 summons in the launch events. Now, this is just from the launch events. You will get more summons through just playing the game as well. First time clearance of stages is going to give you like 60 premium currency. There's a bunch more ways. Your affiliation with characters gives you extra 30 premium currency per character, I think it is. You get a lot of premium currency through the game, so you will be able to do a lot of summons. So if you just want to play the game, jump in, play the game, and have some fun. But we'll talk more about summons, rates, and all that sort of stuff towards the end of the video. Let's kick it off with game modes inside the game. So if we jump over here, we have the main story, which is up the top. So I'm currently up to date on the main story, and it will unlock more over time. Now, when you go into the main story, there's a couple things. You have a standard story mode that you'll have to progress through. Now, along the way, you may find that you can't go into the next story stage. You can see 16 here, for instance. If that was locked out and I couldn't do it, often it's because there's something on the map that is like a golden exclamation mark that you need to do. Like this one is one that's a non-mandatory thing, so I haven't done it yet. But if you can't unlock the stage, have a browse around the map for like a gold exclamation mark or a gold symbol, kind of like this one. Interact with it. It may be a battle, it may just be dialogue, but that's how you keep going. So if you find yourself stuck in the campaign, that's normally what your issue is going to be. Now, in the campaign, we have easy and normal, easy and hard modes, and basically it's really nice to go through and do the hard modes because they do reward you for the first time clear with 60 premium currency, which is really nice for your summon currency. So far, I've only gone in to do the hard modes on ones that I've needed to clear to farm the materials that they drop, but you can go through them all and get some rewards. Now, you do have a stamina-based system, which you can refill stamina. You get items along the way to refill stamina, or you have daily stamina refills that you can use for premium currency. In general, I don't recommend people using the premium currency for it. If you're more of a hardcore player, then definitely go ahead. But for most people, you know, it's a PvE game. You're going to get there eventually. If you're happy to wait, just wait and save that premium currency for summons, because most people enjoy summons. But it's completely up to you if you want to do that. I may make a whole video on that in the future on whether it's worth it. But that is pretty much everything to do with the story mode. Now, the other places we have is resource farming. Now, this one over here is where you're going to farm materials to go ahead and purchase Psi Cubes. Now, Psi Cubes are like weapons in this game. And as you can see here, you can come to the shop and this is where you can get it. So you can see these currency that I farmed through those stages. So at the moment with this one, I'm on 97. The other great thing is with the game, any resource you click on, if you need more of it, it tells you where to go to get that resource, which is really handy. But this is the one I'm trying to get. So I want to get this one. Basically, this has a really nice crit rate of 10%, and I want to get that for my DPS character. So I'm currently farming these to try and get that for my DPS character, but you can get a bunch of different ones over here. You can get lower rarity ones that are basically the same thing, but a bit lower stats. As you can see, this one is a lower rarity. It's got 7% crit rate, not quite as big, but you know, still useful. But that is essentially what that farm is for. It's for getting your Psi Cubes, which are your quote-unquote weapons if you compare it to other games. Now, as we move on past that, we've got experience here for leveling your character. This I refer to as gold. I'm just using general terms that people would probably understand from other games. You know, when you level a character, you need the experience, and then you need the gold. You need this for other things as well, but that's the general. And then this is Harvest Prime. This is for more to do with one of the other modes, which we'll talk about in a sec, but this one, like this one's more niche. These are the three that a lot of people will be familiar with from the start. Then we have Insight. Now, this is where you're going to farm limit break materials for your characters. These are just based on what element they are, which one you want to farm to limit break the characters. Very, very simple stuff. Not too much crazy going on there. And then we have this one here, which is the artificial... I'm not even going to try and say the word because I suck at words and you guys know that, but this one. So this is sort of like your end game type mode where you work through these different interactions. As you can see here, it's showing me what I can get. You get a bunch of premium currency through clearing these stages, and they get gradually harder. You can see I've cleared the first 2 floors of it. You come in here, and basically what's going to happen is it's going to take you through, and you'll see these highlighted areas on the screen. It'll give you dialogue. Obviously, if you want to go through the whole story side of it, you can do that, but I'm just trying to show you guys so you know what's going on, and then we'll jump in and look at some combat. So now the bit behind my head has started lighting up, so you click on whatever is lighting up if you're just trying to get into the combat, and then it will eventually put you into combat. So this is where we're going to touch on combat quickly, just because it's a nice, easy segue into what the combat is. So basically, you have 3 main slots, you have 1 assist slot. Now, some boss battles, you will have 4 active slots, it just depends. Now, general team, I will do a full team building guide over on the other channel, but team building, I try and have a healer, and then a main DPS, and then a either buffer or debuffer. This chick works kind of like a debuffer slash sub DPS, so that's what I'm using here. And this is what you kind of look to with your teams. Now you got to take into consideration elements as well, elements of the enemy team. We've got my head's kind of blocking it there. Let's just move my head quickly so you can see the elemental wheel. You can see red beats green, beats blue, beats brown, beats red, and then you got the purple and yellow countering each other. So that's pretty much what we're looking at for those, and you can see what enemies you have and all that sort of stuff. Now, I'm just going to jump into combat and we'll show you the basics, because like I said, I'm not going to go in depth here, but we are going to look at some of the basics. So each character has 2 card abilities and 1 ultimate ability. They have this Moxie, which as you can see, I just got 2 Moxie there on this character. That is from like one of the buffs for the level. But once you get 5 Moxie, which are these little, yellow dots, once you have 5 of them, you'll unlock your ultimate to use on the next turn. And your attacks, basically, you can click a card, but if you merge 2 cards of the same type to one another, you can see like this one, these 2 are the same. You merge them, they go up 1. It does take you 1 of your action slots for the move, but then it will have an increased, ability to it. So if you look at this at 2-star, it's going to do 20% damage taken increase. If you can click back on here to reset that, and if I look at it here, it's only going to be a 15%. So that's what you're getting as a buff. And then you basically cycle through. You can target different enemies you want. It'll tell you what abilities are strong against what enemies. You can see this one says it's strong against the brown enemy because we have a blue, which is strong against brown. And then obviously my green are going to be weak against the reds. So what I can do here is I can do my debuff. This is an AoE debuff. I'll hit this guy with an AoE, which is a 2 target hit. Now the second target is random. And then I'll go ahead and hit him with another strong single target attack. And you can get an idea for what goes on here. We go there. There's our AoE. Now we do the single target. And away we go. So now you can see that she is at 4 Moxie because I got boosted with 2 and then I used 2 of her abilities. Now, if I use 1 more of her abilities, which we can just do like this, now she's going to be at 5. So the next time she gets an action, she will have that additional 1. And then the next thing I can do is I can probably just go with using 2 of her attacks. I could merge these as well to get her an extra Moxie because the move would get 1, the merge would get 1, and then the use would get 1. But I'm just using 2 individual attacks because it ends up being a little bit more damage. And I'm not too stressed about her Moxie right now. I just want to get the damage in. And then we killed that enemy. It's a single wave fight, which you can see up the top here, but it does have extra spawning enemies. So that's why that extra guy dropped in. So now we have our ultimate ready, and this is what I wanted to show you essentially. So now we can go ahead and you can see what the enemies are using. So this guy is going to attack with 2 attacks, and this bunny is going to attack with 1 attack. So I kind of want to use my ultimate to get her down as far as possible, hopefully knock her out with this one. And then after I do that, I kind of want to target this guy with ideally an AoE attack so that we can get the better damage. But what I'm going to do is first is I'm going to use my debuff because it's going to be AoE debuff to increase their damage taken. Then I'm going to target her with that. And then I'm going to target him with this one, which is a 2 target attack. And hopefully if she doesn't get killed by the ult, hopefully she will then get killed by the AoE, but I can't choose the second target. But the most important thing for me is getting that other guy down because he's going to use 2 attacks. So we managed to kill her with that. that. Then we get him down. They've got no attacks that they can use. She's back. Away we go. She didn't get dropped. Okay. So she's still there for an attack. That's okay. We can keep going. She only got one attack in. So now she's got 2 attack cards. He's got 1. So she's the main one we want to focus down, which shouldn't be too hard at all because we can basically just drop her with almost anything we want to at this stage. So I'm just going to fire in with that. Then I'm going to target this guy with that one. And then just in case she lives that first attack, I'm going to target the next one with that. And that is pretty much the way we go with combat. I said I wasn't going to go too in depth. I ended up going pretty in depth, but you know, that is pretty much what there is to combat when we look at the game. Okay, so now that we know how combat works, we know all the main game modes that you're going to be spending your stamina and stuff in the game. Let's jump into your crew, take a look at your characters and the upgrade paths. So as we go through here, your blues are going to be 3-star characters, purple's going to be 4-star, yellows are 5-star, and oranges are 6-star. Now I got Lilia from the beginner banner. You get one of 3 characters from that one once you get to the pity honors. So that's where I got her from. But let's take a look at the upgrade path and take a look what we have. So essentially we have our 3 abilities listed here. This one's going to be your ultimate. This one is going to be your first card, and that one is your second card. And you can see what the cards do if you get them to 2-star or 3-star. You can just click through and get an idea for the character. Just keep in mind that some characters do have effects that upgrade where it adds different things. A great one is a character we all start off with, which is Sonetto, where she has an attack on this one, but once you upgrade it to 2-star, it now also has a disarm for 1 turn on the enemy, and when you get it to 3-star, it's a 2-turn disarm. So different characters will have different things like that. So make sure if you're looking at a character and you look at it and go, oh, that's a pretty average attack, it's not a very high multiplier, just make sure you check the second one because it may have an additional effect. So past that, what do we have? We have leveling up. So leveling up is standard. You're going to use your experience. You're going to use what I refer to as the gold as well, and you're just going to increase your character's levels. Fairly standard. Now, once you hit the level cap, which I'll go to this chick here to show you, you can see that she is level 30 of 30. Then you can go to Insight. And if you try and go to level up, it'll say go to Insight, you go to Insight. And then this is where you go farming for those materials. So as you can see, these are the materials I need here. I need 6 of these. I need 4 of these, 5 of these. So literally all I need is 6 more of these scrolls, and I can raise her Insight. Now, if I want to get those scrolls, you just go to that Insight farming that I mentioned. But if you're not too sure, you can just go over here. You can go to the Insight and you hit go, and it'll take me to that place. I can go ahead and I can start farming for those. That is the way Insight works. The one thing with Insight, which you'll probably notice when you look here, because my Insight has been raised by 2 on this one, you can see that she's got the 2 orange triangles. There's 1 more Insight that I can go up. When you raise their Insight, they will go back to level 1, so you will have to level them through all those levels again. And if you're wondering what the Insight benefits are, as you can see, like I said, we've got 3 levels of Insight. And each character has different benefits that happen at different Insight levels, and some characters will kind of really need their Insight 2 or Insight 3 to be really effective. For instance, she is one of them, because when we look at this, her Insight 1, when she casts her ultimate, critical rate plus 20%, really nice. Then we've just got a base critical rate plus 10% when they enter battle, which is super handy. But this one here is Psycube's basic critical rate bonus increased by 100%. So basically, where I'm looking to get that Psycube with 10% crit rate, once I get that and I have her at Insight 3, it'll give me a 20% crit rate, which is really nice to help her crit, considering that the rest of her kit, and this is where, you know, synergies come into play. With this one, if she does a critical hit, she does another follow-up, like a bonus attack with it. This one, when she does a critical hit, she heals herself. So there's a lot of those synergies that come into play with them. And that is your basic leveling up and insights. Now we have portray. Now this is what happens when you get duplicate copies of the character. Now the thing I like about these ones is they're sort of just number increases on a lot of characters. They don't feel super necessary on a lot of characters, but some characters do have ones that do make a big difference. If we look at Charlie over here is a great example. If we look at her portray and we take a look, this ability, which previously, if we go over here, is this one. If she's below 50% health, then it deals 60% more damage. However, if we do get her portray up to level 3, it's now when it's below 80%. So I like these ones that like this is much more effective because you do spend a lot of the time under 80% health, but getting below 50 is a bit trickier. So having her do that and getting that activation is a lot better. So you can definitely check out those and check out characters that benefit from those duplicate copies to increase their value. And then the final thing that we have for character progression, like I mentioned, we do have your psi cubes, which is like the gear. So you can get different psi cubes along the way, which give different effects, but they're just like weapons in other games. But we have Resonate. Now, this is a very, very interesting system, and it's kind of like what I compare to gearing systems in other games, except it's not gear that you farm for. You basically just level up your resonance by getting the required materials, and as you level up, you'll get more ideas, you'll get more of these shapes, which are called ideas, and you'll also increase your brain capacity, essentially is what it is, because this is meant to be your brain and these are ideas. This is the theme of it. But you'll increase the size of this grid and you'll also get more of these. And what you do is you basically just arrange them in a fashion and basically play Tetris with your skills, with your stats to try and get as many as you can. So what you'll notice here is, because on her, I want as much crit rate as possible because everything ties into crit rate. You'll see that there's one here that has 2.5% crit rate that I could put in, but it's a matter of doing the puzzle. So this one has 4% crit rate. This one has 4% crit rate. This one has 1.5% crit rate, but it's a smaller one. This one's got the 4%. This one's got the 1.5%. And then this one just has damage bonus because that's all I could fit into my one slot. But you can really customize your characters based on this, and the way you get more expansive sets and more slots is by upgrading the basic let's wait, no, not remove, let's go back, by just simply leveling it up, and then you get more ideas to put in there. You get a bigger node as well to expand in. So it's a bit complicated. The other thing is, when we look into it, say you want to make this one turn, you can just click on them again and it rotates them. So you can play around with them like that to make them fit in different ways. It's a bit complicated. It's probably going to take a bigger guide on its own, talking about optimizing it and stuff like that. But that is a basic look at the quote unquote gearing system, but it's not a gearing system you have to farm. You just farm the materials, upgrade the characters, and then you get more quote unquote gear slots, is the way I try and look at it for those that have played other gotcha games. Okay, so that's core game modes, battle, and crew members and upgrading. Now I just want to jump into the wilderness quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. Basically, I'll probably have a more in-depth guide in future, but this is your AFK loot. You got to build like an island, essentially. Just follow the prompts, whatever it tells you to do, and essentially what you'll end up with is some AFK loot that you can pick up for experience and gold. And that is the main function of it. You also have somewhere where you can craft materials as well in here, but essentially just follow the prompts when you unlock this, keep going, and that should be enough to get you on your way and get you some AFK loot. Make sure you come in like twice a day and collect that loot so you don't overcap, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, the next thing I want to look at, there's not too much that I want to cover in depth anymore. When you look at tasks, you've got daily tasks and you've got weekly tasks. Make sure you complete all those, just because, you know, free rewards are free rewards. But then you also have these other tasks. Now, something I'd recommend, and I'm going to put this in another video talking more in depth, is there are certain characters where if you level them up to level 23, you get a refund on all the resources that it costed to level them up to level 23. Now, if you're new and you're not sure who you want to build and stuff like that, go ahead, level these characters in this mission up to level 23, because it's basically free levels, and that'll get you through the early stages of the game until you feel a bit more comfortable and you choose who you actually want to invest into. So you essentially just get these characters to level 23 for free, and if you level one of them first, the other one second, third, fourth, you basically just get them all there for free for nothing. So I think that's a really nice feature that they have to let you just build some characters without having to think about who you want to build at the start. Then there's a bunch of other missions in there that you can just complete over time, and away you go. Then the other thing we have is summons. Now, I'll probably already have, by the time this video comes out, is a video talking about the banners and the summons and stuff like that. But essentially, we have multiple banners in here, and they share the pity towards the basic pity, and you can find it all in the details. The rate details, you can see you got 1.5% here, 8.5% at 5-star, which isn't too bad either. And then the rules, if we scroll down, you can see that every 10 summon guarantees at least one 4-star or better character. And then here we go. So the 6-star is that. Overall rating, including the guarantee, is 2.36. And here we go. In the banner, the rate of summoning a 6-star rate up character, a knight, this is the feature banner, takes up 50% of the rating of 6 stars. So if you get a 6-star, it's got a 50% chance to be the banner character, 50% chance to be another one. But if you don't, if the first 6-star character obtained from this banner is not the rate up one, then the next 6-star character obtained from this banner will guarantee the rate up character. So if you lose the 50-50, you're guaranteed it next time. In this banner, the rate for summoning 5-star characters, the two main ones, takes up 50%. So when you summon a 5-star, you got a 25% at each of the rate up characters, and then 50% chance at the others, essentially is what that's saying. And then here is the pity. So in banner, yada yada yada, if you have not obtained any 6-star characters after 60 consecutive summons, the rate of summoning a 6-star character in the next summon will rise from 1.5 to 4%. After that, every summon that does not grant a 6-star character will increase that rate by 2.5%. Every 70 summons guarantees one 6-star character. For those wondering, that means 60 soft pity, 70 hard pity is the way it goes on that one. And once again, if you lose the 50-50, your next time you get a 6-star will be the select character. So that's pretty much all there is to summons. Once again, you can use premium currency to get summons and stuff like that, or you can get some summons along the way. And that is pretty much everything that I wanted to go through. Like I said, I'll have other videos talking about which banners, depending on what type of play you want to use and what teams you want to look to for the future. But I'm not going to cover all that in this video. I think that has pretty much rounded off everything that you need to know as a new player for a beginner's guide. Once again, massive shout out to Reverse 1999 for sponsoring this video. Links in the description if you want to go and support the channel. Hit it, download the game, and have a play. And once again, if you want more guides and stuff like that, my other channel, Vulcan Journey, I've got guides over there as well. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.